will take my will. Conform it. I don't know the words, sorry. To yours, to yours. Oh Lord, to take my heart, take my heart. I'm molded. Take my mind, take my mind. Conform it, conform it. Take my will, take my will. Transform it to yours, to yours. Oh Lord, to take my heart, take my heart. I'm molded. Take my mind, take my mind. Conform it, conform it. Take my will, take my will. Transform it, transform it to yours, to yours. Oh Lord. Oh, nice.
I think the Venus is soprano.
The King of Zion. Thank you, Deborah. Generations.
Sing.
After generations.
That's good. Yeah.
Keep praising you, yet no word sums you up. And I asked the Lord, what name fits you? And he said, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Let's put in harmony.
This part.
Yeah.
Generations after generations, keep praising you,
Yet no word sums you up.
Then I asked the Lord, what name fits you?
One part. And he said, yeah. One more time, say generations.
Generations after generations, keep praising you, yet no word sums you up. Then I asked the Lord, what name fits you? And he said, yeah. Hey.
See, you're the Holy One.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. Yahweh, the King of Zion. I feel like the King of Zion should be one.
You're the Holy One.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. Yahweh, the King of Zion.
See, you're the Holy.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. Yahweh, the King of Zion.
See, you're the Holy One.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. Yahweh, the King of Zion.
Yeah, you're right. That's
You're the Holy.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. Yahweh, the King of Zion.
One more time. See, you're the Holy.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy
You're the
One.
Holy.
You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One. You're the hallowed one.
Hey.
You're the Holy One. You're the hallowed one. You're the Holy One.
Say Yahweh.
Yahweh, the King of Zion. And then I asked the Lord,
Yeah.
Oh, feed us out, girl.
what name fits you? So it's Sunny. And he said, yeah. What name fits you?
That's your favorite. Yeah.
Hey.
Listen, listen.
Good.
Jesus.
See why he's in jail. I talk about this in the book when I go to see him in Rikers, when I wrote about that in the book, and when I had to talk about it, speak my words for the audible version of the book. That was probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there. And he was in bad shape. And so when he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers. And I knew at that time that he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. You didn't have to marry me to do time. Right? I'm here.
I see why we love you.
And then he needed a rock. He needed, because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation. You know, because I promise you, he would have married me and divorced me as soon as his ass left jail. He would have.
Right.
I'd be real with it.
Right. Because so many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None. You know?
And he got the best.
Right. He was just like, look. And I just think it was the mind state that he was in. You know, he wrote me this long letter. And I think even before Pac went to jail, he was starting to shift in a certain manner.
Good or bad?
Good. Really good. And I think that for him, he just felt like, okay, if I can.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that you did an eye roll, like,
Right. Yeah. And I did that eye roll, not so much for me. And I think this is really important, but the fact that there could be a jab at alopecia.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's
name out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about
and what's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I could think to say, right? And I couldn't really take in his apology.
How unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally out of character.
It's not him whatsoever.
You did an eye roll. Like,
right.
You know, there's times where he's referred to as his soulmate, and I would assume that you felt the same way. Do you feel that you can have a friendship that is like a soulmate friendship that doesn't necessarily include the romantic, version?
Absolutely. We have soulmates. Our children can be our soulmates. I think this kind of romanticized idea of like a soulmate, there's all kinds of definitions of soulmate. But definitely. I don't think if there is such a thing as past lives, Definitely think Pac and I have traveled a few together, you know, in various forms. So
has there ever been a time that you regretted the decision that you made not to take it to that level with him and to keep it in the friendship space?
It just wasn't possible. There was no chemistry between us. You know, I talk about it in the book. You know,
that's so hard. I know, but that's just so hard to imagine. At the time, he was in a bad, you know, he was in a space where, you know, he was in jail and all that, but it's just hard to believe that we see chemistry with the two of you guys. Even in the videos you guys dance, and there seems to be so much chemistry. But from your perspective,
chemistry, it's that friendship, love chemistry. Trust me. Let me tell you, don't think that Pac and I, like I write in the book, we had those moments. And I wish I could get people to understand the repelling nature. It was almost like God made us that way. It was like, look, I'm gonna put y'all together. All right. Y'all gonna be a dynamic duo. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna make it so. Y'all not gonna be able to get together, because that just wasn't the purpose. And I know it's so hard, but we had no, and it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
Him too.
Him too. I think that
life where he saw beauty in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. And, you know, he saw a diamond in the rough, and he kind of picked me up and blew off all the dust and said, I'm telling you, I'm going to make you shine, girl.
Yeah.
Todd, you try to put his wife in a lip lock.
Yeah. I didn't find out that for 15 years because he never told me that. See, he came into the trailer and I was sitting down, right? He's standing over me like this. And he's like, I don't appreciate that, man. I don't appreciate that. And I'm like, well, what you talking about? I always know to play it off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And I'm going, what's going on, man? Tell me what's happening, man. And since he was standing and I was sitting, I was a real nice fella. That's about physics, right? Right. So I'm like, you know, oh man, what's going on, man? I mean, hey man, he's like, I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And Jada's going, Will, I'm saying, but I mean, what's happening, man? Now you tell me what's happening. You know when a dude does this,
he bite his bottom lip. He about to do something bad.
He might do something, right? So I'm like, you know, I did the whole. You remember the snake?
Yeah.
I did the snake. Well, what? You know, and got up.
Right.
And then I was like, you know, so what are you talking about, man? And I was still in that posture.
So you didn't really know what he was actually talking about?
I didn't, but I know what he was doing.
Right.
So I was like, come on, man. I mean, what's up? Just tell me what's up.
Right.
Yeah, you know what's up. You know, so finally I just said, this is a small place and people are here. We should talk about it.
Right.
Me and you outside, because it looked like you're gonna need to get something off your chest, right? And then Jada was like, oh, no, y'all. And I was like, what do you mean, nah, y'all? Tell him. And that was the end of that.
Right.
We are back 8:14 with Carson and Hoda's exclusive interview with Jada Pinkett Smith, and everyone's going to be talking about this.
Yeah, she is one half of Hollywood's most powerful couple. She's at the center of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that has been kept secret until now.
Let me just put some music on. Hold on. Just to set the mood again. Be glorified. Will Smith, you need to know that Jesus needs to be glorified. Oh, Jada, you need to know that Jesus needs to be glorified. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Honestly, it's a madness right now. I don't know how much more someone can generally take. Like, I generally don't know how much more someone can take. Okay? I don't know how much more man can take. Because at this point, what more do you want, Jada? right? What more do you want? You are telling us about Tupac. He's your soulmate. He proposed to you. Okay. All right. And now the Oscar slap, you're telling us, I'm gonna play that video again. The Oscar slap was you were confused. You had never heard him call you wife for such a long time. Why do I need to know this information? And where were you when this originally dropped? See, look, you're separated, not divorced. You understand what I'm saying to you? You're separated, not divorced. I need you, if you want this kind of conversation, to divorce. Because we're separated, not divorced. At this point, it feels like you're trying to hurt my man. And this is the father of your kids. This is somebody who you've done life with. And listen, don't get it twisted. I am not saying Will is innocent. Once again, I want to make it very clear. It is not that we're saying Will Smith is innocent. We're not saying that Will Smith hasn't done stuff. We're not saying Will Smith hasn't gone out there and done things with other people. What we are saying is, sis, I need you to stop talking. Because every time you talk, you say stuff that is going to affect the relationship, that's affecting a brand, you know, right? So for me, I can't, you know, I can't. It's like, sis, allow it. At this point, allow it, bruv. Yeah? At this point, allow it, bruv. Now, there's some interesting information that came out, okay? Interesting information that came out. An article that I picked up on The Independent, and I think it'll be very intriguing because the very thing that we spoke about the other day about August Alsina, Will Smith, and Jada Pinkett Smith, we said, where did Jada find August Alsina? She found him in a place where he was sick. And she also has a history of coming from a place that's drug fueled. So she used to be, she said she used to sell a little bit of drugs, you know, back in the day and that, you get me? So, you know, and her mom obviously was a drug, had used drugs for a long time. What's interesting about this is, what's interesting about this situation is that, you know, that for her, she also was in a similar place when she found Will. And it's quite scary actually when you read it. It's scary, but also it makes you understand why this relationship is now starting to break, right? Meeting people at a certain level in their life is really, really, really intriguing because when they tell you about what position they were in, finally you can begin to see that, okay, oh, I see now. Okay, I see where you came from and why this is now becoming an issue because you haven't actually dealt with the past trauma that you've been feeling, right? She herself had involved himself in, drugs, or at least selling it anyway. And where she was at is also really intriguing. So I want to be able to break this down. Hopefully I can get this right. Let me see if I can get I want to get for you guys because it's just nuts, to be honest. It's just nuts. This whole situation. It's you just at a point you just want to be like, yo, Bedrin, wake up, man. Wake up. You understand? Like, wake up. What the hell? Why is that something that you're this is why are we at this point now? Why are we at this point now? Like, sis, come on. Look at this. Let me bring this to your attention. Because obviously she was involved in it, and she's gone through some stuff, so that's why I think it's
around it. And I know that a lot of times people, you know, kind of connect this romantically, but I think also it was time to share because I really had an existential crisis in regards to realizing how far I had come and having started in one place and had come out of a certain lifestyle and watched a friend go into that lifestyle and always thought, you know, the higher power would bring him through and that I made it and that he didn't. And I realized that a lot of my anger around the movie really didn't have to do with the filmmakers as much as it had to do with me really making peace with how the highest has wanted this whole journey to be. And so that really, I had that aha moment. Started out one way, and Pac, you know, started out one way, and then we kind of switched roles. It was the thing that bound us, but it was also the thing that broke us apart as well.
How deep were you in that life, and how did you save yourself?
All right, let me break this down. Okay, let's break this down real quick. Okay, all right, let's break this down real quick. So I want to bring an article that I started reading And I think it does kind of give us a better understanding of the beginning of that relationship. Now, I like to go to beginning. I want to be able to bring this together, right? So it says that Jada Pinkett Smith says Will Smith became the drug during their relationship. Now, when you read this article, it does make a lot more sense in terms of what's happened with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. And it also gives you a better understanding because, like I said, I said about how she came from a family of her mom and dad were in drugs, and she had her own mental health issues that she was also dealing with. And when you don't deal with some of the trauma that you faced, it does come back up later on. Right? So this something that it says that Jada Pinkett Smith has spoken candidly about her relationship with Will Smith amid the release of her new book, Worthy. In an interview with People to promote her book's release, Jada discussed the beginning of the relationship and how she and Will had seen each other multiple times in passing until he had called her after his divorce from his first wife, Cherie Zampino. "Who are you going out with?" he asked over her phone. After Jada told Will she wasn't dating anyone at the time, she said Will told her, "Well, you're going out with me now." And he actually genuinely said this is also in his book. Looking back on the story, Jada just laughed. "Can you believe I fell for that?" she told the outlet. She continued, "Will called me up one day and said, 'Hit me when you get to LA,' and then click. And I was like, whoa, okay. And so when I got to LA, I called him. I haven't been able to get rid of him since." God damn. That's just being so painful. At the same time, when the two got together, Jada was being treated for depression. This is what is the key part. This is the key part we need to pay attention to. Okay? This is where we need to pay attention to, because this is a starting block. At the time when the two got together, Jada was being treated for depression and suicidal ideation and was taking medication, specifically Prozac. According to the outlet, however, she stopped taking it once she started dating Will. Oh my freaking word. Okay? Right? Now that is heavy information. Right? Heavy. Once I met Will, I completely abandoned my mental health. I was so intoxicated by him and our dynamic. I really felt I'm cured, she said. He became the drug. She is a codependent right there, 100%. That is what a codependent person will end up saying. That is what a codependent person, hands down, ends up saying, because they make the other person their project. She has literally released her mental health to be focused on one person. That person has become their drug. Very similar to what we said about Danae Jackson and Derek Jackson. They get completely lost in the other person. Their whole identity becomes that of a person. Now, you had your whole mental health, but you left it behind to focus solely on Will. You put yourself into Will. So no wonder why we're seeing it 40 years later, a couple of years later, now we're seeing this particular revelation of your relationship. We're seeing it now, right? Jada went on to say that reflecting on her life had been filled with intense highs, such as birth of her two children, Jaden and Willow, and intense lows, such as when her depression returned when she turned 40. So her depression returned. Okay, so here, key part. At 40, her depression returned. Why? Because she had accomplished all she accomplished in life. Remember I said to you guys that once you complete this game called life, once you reach your plateau, once you stop running, once you stop filling your life up with different things that are going to take your time and your energy, you generally are going to deal with the trauma that you never faced before. What you wouldn't want to fight beforehand is going to catch up to you. It's like Maze Runner, right? And, when Temple Run, and, that thing that keeps chasing you from behind, right? It hasn't stopped until you stop. So this has existed way before Will, and now it's coming back up now. This is not giving her an excuse. We are explaining the behavior once more again. We're not giving Jada a pass or an excuse, the same way I don't give it to anybody else, but we are going to explain the behavior of why we're here now. When I turned 40, I was in so much pain. I couldn't figure out a way a way out besides death. So I made a plan, she said. The actress acknowledged that her life was great on paper with a constant movie premieres and designer dresses. But while I was really living the dream, I hit a huge wall, a massive amount of depression, she said. I think that I looked at having outside sources to supplement for voids that I was feeling inside. According to Jada, at the time, she suffered with suicidal thoughts with 52-year-old, telling the outlet she started looking for places, cliffs where she could have an accident because I didn't want my kids to think that their mother had committed suicide. Jada previously suggested psychedelics helped her and revealed that the drugs such as ayahuasca gave her a new intimate relationship with herself. As for her relationship with Will, Jada recently revealed that they've been separated for 7 years and the two of them are still figuring it out. We've been doing some really heavy duty work together, she continued. We just got a deep love for each other and we're going to figure out what it looks like for us, okay? That's what she said there. I want to go to my thingy because I want to bring out something as well, okay? Let me just quickly find this. I want to find a video for you guys because I watched the video time ago and I said that's why I knew they were not going to be together properly because you know, the way he described their relationship in terms of the fact that I can't make her happy, she can't make me happy, which is usually code word for the fact that, you know what, we ain't together no more, you know. But when you say we need to go our separate ways, I can't make you happy, you can't make me happy, I get it. Yeah, he ain't lying. But it's the way he said it. I was like, yeah, this gonna be political. Let me read on. Oh, that's it. It's done, isn't it? It's finished. Okay, cool. So I can go to that clip and share instead. Let's bring this up. Okay.
So me and Jada was reflecting about love. And I asked her, I said, what did she think was, one of the biggest revelations that she had about love? She said that you cannot make a person happy. And I thought that was a real deep idea. You can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh, but whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control. I remember the day I retired. I literally said to Jada, that's it. I retire. I retire from trying to make you happy. I need you to go make yourself happy and just prove to me that it's even possible. And after we cracked the hell up, we started talking about, we came into this false romantic concept that somehow when we got married that we would become one. And what we realized is that we were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys, and that we were choosing to walk our separate journeys together. But her happiness was her responsibility and my happiness was my responsibility. And we decided that we were going to find our individual, internal, private, separate joy. And then we were going to present ourselves to the relationship and to each other already happy, not coming to each other begging with our empty cups out, demanding that she fill my cup and demanding that she meet my needs. Is unfair and is kind of unrealistic and can be destructive to place the responsibility for your happiness on anybody other than yourself.
I mean, there's parts of what he's saying is absolutely true, right? Parts of what he's saying is absolutely true. Someone cannot make, they're not going to be part of your happiness, right? And a better word is not happiness, it's actually joy. When we talk about happiness, people can make you happy, right? People can make you happy. So the word is not happiness, it's joy, right? So when we talk about whether someone can make you happy, they can make you happy because happiness is about external factors. When we talk about happiness, we're talking about external factors that influence you to make you happy. But you cannot make somebody joyful because joy is from within. And this is what, as Christians, what we talk about when we say joy, what we're saying is there is something that I hold on to that gives me a confidence that I can have joy from within. The happiness is temporal and temporary because it defines itself based on the external factors of life. Right? So yes, there are external things that are happening that make me unhappy. But when I focus on the rock 'Cause I am under the rock. The rock is higher than I. Jehovah hides me. He hides me under the rock. Go tell my enemies I am under a rock. Jehovah hides me under a rock. When we sing that song, what we're saying is there is something that's within that I'm attached to, I'm anchored to, that gives me a sense of joy, that even in the midst of when I look around me and there's a storm going on, I am under a rock. The rock is higher than I. Jehovah hides me. He hides me under the rock. Go tell my enemies I am under a rock. You can sing that because you are focused not on the external factors. You're not focused on what's happening around you. You're focused on what's within and who's within, which is for us as Christians, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, and the Father. Right? They have made abode and made home in you. So that's what makes you have joy. So that even when I'm looking at things, I can say, you know what, it's scary out there, but I can say, you know what? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All I have to say is thank you, Lord. I want to say thank you, Lord, even in the midst of crazy things happening. But you can only do that when there's joy from within. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Because it doesn't focus on the external factors. So there's partly what Will was saying is absolutely right. There's partly which is that you can't make someone happy per se, but there are things that there are always going to be interactions that are going to make you feel happy because it's temporary, right? So there are levels to this, I want to say. There are levels to this situation. So when I'm looking at it and I'm listening to it, I'm going, yeah, he got it, but there's that extra step that's needed. There's that extra step that's needed. So I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying that there's an extra step that's needed because happiness is temporary and everybody's looking for happiness. But the reality of the situation is we're looking for joy because things are gonna flip around you. Now with Jada specifically, she spoke about her happiness on the Red Table Talk, if I remember correctly. And it was about August Alsina. She said, it did make me happy. She spoke about her happiness. I'm trying to remember. I don't know exactly where it was, and I hope I can find it in the right. I don't know if she does
As
it.
promised, Jada Pinkett Smith brought herself to the red.
I don't know if it's going to be in there. I want to see if I can get a clip and see if it'll be there. About the issue because clearly the situation with Olga Zasina was about her finding her happiness, which is why they were separated. She was searching for her happiness. And her happiness included her getting a situation with August. But it didn't solve the issue because the issue is from within, right? The issue isn't outside. The issue is within. And if you don't solve the issue within, then the issue outside will always look like it's an outside matter. No, the outside matter does matter, but it isn't the matter that you need to be worried about. The thing you need to worry about is what anchors your soul, because that's what's going to give you the ability to have joy in those moments. So I'm not saying that things are going to be okay, and literally good if you give your life to Jesus. I'm not promoting that. What I'm saying is that there's an extra step that we have as Christians that we can hold on to. It does not mean that you don't go through things. It doesn't mean you're not sad. It doesn't mean that you're not hurting. It doesn't mean that you're not broken at points in time. What I'm describing is that their relationship, Will saved her, right? And when I say Will saved her, I don't mean that in even a good way. I mean that in a way of when someone saves you, that you stop from, she was depressed, she was broken, she was this, and yet the reality is she wasn't healed. And I'm not talking about even spiritually. I'm talking about mentally and emotionally. She wasn't healed. Right? She wasn't healed. Right? If we listen again, just listen again. Listen to why she loves Will.
He saw beauty in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. And, he saw a diamond in the rough and he kind of picked me up and blew off all the dust and said, I'm telling you, I'm going to make you shine, girl.
Well, you certainly did, looking at that rock.
Right.
And once he did that, blow it off, made her shine, what happened? The reality set in. The reality set in. Once that the reality set in. She was distracted for a while, a bit like when somebody's injured and the adrenaline's running, and so you don't feel the pain in that immediate moment. You get to the hospital and the adrenaline runs off, and now suddenly, I feel it. Oh, I feel that. Why do you feel it? Because the adrenaline has run off. The cortisol is no longer operating. It was there for a time and a season. And some people's cortisol and adrenaline runs emotionally and mentally for a very long time. And then when they look around and see when the cortisol and the adrenaline has run off, what the hell am I in? Absolutely, El Cid. And do you know what? This is so interesting. And I'll give you a scripture because I love this scripture, right? I want to, let me see this. I want to see this because it always gets me. Yes. Let me change the version though. I love reading this scripture because it really does like encapsulate what I mean by looking at the mental aspect. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just give you this scripture here. Judges 6 verse 11, the story of Gideon. The story of Gideon is one of my favorite stories because it speaks to mentality and it speaks to the psychoanalysis of how we view ourselves, right? And what that means. And so the story goes, now the angel of the Lord came and sat underneath the terebinth at Oprah, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite. While his son Gideon was beating out the wheat in the winepress to hide it from the Midianites, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, Lord, the Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor, which means courage, strength, bravery. And Gideon said to him, please, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has this happened to us? And where are all his wonderful deeds that our fathers recounted to us, saying, did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and given us into the land of Midian. And the Lord has turned to him and said, go in this might of yours and save Israel from the hand of Midian. Do not I send you? And he said to him, please, Lord, how can I save Israel? Behold, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I'm the least in my father's house. And the Lord said to him, I will be with you, and you'll strike the Midianites as one man. And he said to him, if now I have found favor in your eyes, then show me a sign that is you who speak with me. Please do not depart from here until I come to you and bring out the present and set it before you. He said, I will stay till you return. Okay. Now, the funny thing is the part this focus on, right, is the Lord said to him, oh mighty man of valor. And Gideon said to him immediately, hey, so what happened? If I'm this guy, what happened? How do we get to this point? Right? How do we get to this point? And he says, how can I save Israel? Because my clan is the weakest. Why am I bringing this out? The reality of the situation is Jada just did the exact same thing, right? She unfortunately didn't see this thing for herself, right? She didn't see the mentality of herself. She saw it through Tupac and she saw it through Will. Both times when she talks about, oh, Tupac saw this, that he saw the star in me, 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 he saw the star in me. And then when she talks about Will Smith, he saw this in me, he blowed it off and saw the star in me. Where is Jada's confession about herself? Very similar to what Gideon did as well. He didn't know he had this. You're looking from the outside and you're seeing this, but you're not seeing it yourself. And so whatever Jada was going through at that time, she ended up, like she said, making Will Smith her drug that she latched onto rather than seeing things herself. And, this situation with Will Smith, when she finally releases all the information, she will still not be satisfied. I'm not satisfied with where you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be satisfied because I still want more. You're gonna still want more. You're gonna still want to have more because what she's doing is an insatiable hunger. You've done Red Table and it's not enough. And we're now coming out with a book and we're also revealing secrets and stuff like that. That honestly, we don't need to freaking know, right? What is Tupac, him personally marrying you? What has it got to do with us? Right? Why do we need to know that Tupac wanted to marry you? You told us he's your soulmate. There's no romantic connection. You unprovokedly release this information all the time. And I think someone said it in the chat. I think it might be you, Andre. She's moving like a widow. So that's why some of the commentary I'm seeing on like Neighborhood Talk and stuff like that are saying things like Tupac's widow. Because honestly, you're moving like a widow. I get it that the brother has passed before his time and you're not able to cope. But I need you to talk these stuff to your therapist. Because some of the stuff that you're releasing, we don't need to know. Some of the stuff you're saying is for your therapist. I need you to leave it for your therapist and keep it there. Instead, you're using us as your therapy, and this is not going to heal you because the things that you're saying are wild and they're going to come back on you. Right? It's going to come back on you. And that's a good point, Elsie. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Worthy is the Lamb. You are holy. Holy, 'cause are you, Lord God Almighty? Worthy is the Lamb. Like, she ain't gonna never feel worthy, man. It's gonna keep happening. So this situation with Will is gonna keep going on until she learns to deal with the brokenness from within. I need her to tell the stuff to the therapist. We don't need to know all this information. All right, we don't need to know this. You know what I mean? We don't need to know this. We don't need to know this. There's too much being released at this point, you know. And there's a funny little skit video I wanted to show you guys before I go. I think it was quite intriguing because it made me laugh. There might be a little bit of swearing in this. I do apologize, guys, but I think it just encapsulates what I wanted to say.
If Jada Pinkett doesn't put the stress and the embarrassment on Will Smith about not being gangster enough while not appreciating the positive black man that he is, maybe he doesn't go off the rails and try to slap Chris Rock. If you got my last name, you live in the fucking mega mansion that I built, you have a table named after a color and a show in your name because your last fucking name is my last name. If I make a mistake, you fucking ride with the nigga you rode here with. That's real loyalty. That's what a man wants in a wife. Talk to me behind closed doors about how you don't need nobody to defend you. Don't go to the world and say you don't need nobody to defend you. That body that defended you is your husband. That body that defended you knows how much you deal with alopecia. That body that you defended is the same who do-rags you be borrowing. Jada Pinkett, if Jada Pinkett doesn't put the stress.
Yo, as much as it's meant to be a skit, it's so funny. You know, it's so funny because it's so true. That situation, we'll end it on that video because I think not in that video, there's the video originally, which was with the situation with her talking about the Oscars again. It doesn't even that again. Why did she wait till now? It's like, again, why are we waiting till now to release this information? Like, we don't need to know. We're trying to move past it. We're not even trying to care about this Oscar slap situation. But you gonna bring it up again? Is what's nuts. Okay.
You did an eye roll,
right. Yeah, and I did that eye roll, not so much for me, and I think this is really important, but the fact that there could be a jab at alopecia.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's
name out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about
And what's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like,
Oh.
he's still, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old That's all I could think to say,
Yeah.
right? And I couldn't really take in his apology.
How unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally
It's
out of
not
character.
him whatsoever.
You
Let me be real with you. You know, there's a need for Jada just to pipe quiet. And this is not about a woman or a man per se. This is about, as a partner, stop talking. Because when you're talking, you're releasing information that we didn't need to know. And two, we are looking at you in a particular way. Like the manosphere are going to go absolutely mad. They are going to listen. They are going to be Thanos like this. That's how the manosphere is going to be. Because after this, at the time when this happened, they were screaming and saying that Jada is the one that's manipulating Will Smith. You know, some of us had to come out and defend it, like, hey, it's a bit too much. Hey, look, chill, like, blah, blah. But at this point, the manosphere have got all the ammunition they need to destroy the universe, just like this. Because what is this? How are you protecting your family? Not just Will, but your family. And I'm not saying, again, once more, listen, I'll concede this. Part of what Will did was about himself. He was jealous, or he felt hurt, or he was trying to show himself to be worthy by protecting her. Yes, I've read his book. His dad abusing his mum. I think he saw it as another moment to protect Jada. She had an alopecia situation. He wanted to protect her. It was probably more of a selfish motive than anything else, right? Probably, I don't even say selfish, but wanted to show himself worthy, okay, according to her book, right? She wanted to show himself worthy. And so now he's gone and slapped Chris Rock in the face. Now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this for sure. See me, yeah? And this is how I know that that in her head, she's done with Will Smith. Because see me, if I'm in a relationship with you, yeah, I know what you did was wrong. Yeah, unless we're gonna come out with a unified statement to say, hey, you know what? We understand that we got some things wrong here. And me personally, when you're on my team, it's a we thing, you know. It's like, hey, look, we got this wrong. It's unfortunate we got to this place. We never wanted to get to this place. We never want to see that happen, right? And so we're gonna work some stuff internally, and we're gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again as a fucking team. So when I get indoors, I can go to you, babe. That was freaking wild. Slapping her in front of public, that ain't gonna help us, babe. But when I'm in public, I'm not gonna give the public an opportunity to try and get at you. You must be mad. You must be mad. No, you must be mad for me to give the public room and a leverage and a platform to get at you by not making sure that together we stand together and say, hey, we're a unified front here. There's no leakage here. There's no leakage here. I'm sorry. No. Right? You get what I'm saying to you? So, and so now that would have been a team effort. But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. What she's doing now is telling me that you're not in a relationship, that not even that you're separated, you're done. This is the behavior of somebody who's divorced and moved on. This is the behavior of somebody who's divorced and no longer in a relationship, because you can't tell me that you're going to come out and tell out all the information about that situation, and it's now even looking more worse for Will. You might as well leave, baby. You might as well leave, because you're embarrassing. You might as well leave. You're embarrassing your man. You might as well leave. You might as well leave. Okay? So at this point, I'm like, listen, You come out and you just like, baby, I need you to. And oh, one thing I wanted to show you from last week. I forgot to tell you. Okay. I forgot to say something. Listen, at this rate, I might help her sell her book. If anybody knows Jada, tell her to reach out to me. Tell her team to reach out to me. I want to interview her, but I want to do it in my way. So, I want to ask questions about why she's doing what she's doing right now, and does she know that her behavior is embarrassing to her partner? That's what I want to ask. Forget the Tupac stuff. I don't want to know about Tupac anymore. I'm tired of Tupac. I want to know about what's going on right now. Why you are in a space where it feels like you're disrespecting your husband. You know? Yeah? But I want you to watch this again, okay? Okay? I want you to just see this, right? Okay, I'm going to show you this, guys. I want you to pay attention to what's happening here. Look at the reaction of Hoda. Sorry, I said Honda last. I do apologize. Of Hoda. Look at the reaction of Hoda. I want you to see something, right? Watch her reaction to Jada's book and interview compared to Will Smith's. Okay? I want you to watch this. Okay?
We are back 8:14 with Carson and Hoda's exclusive
couple. She's at the center of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that is.
And I want to go to Enders now.
News. It's called Jada's Story, Friday night, 8/7 Central.
I want to hear your podcast with her so we can go like 2 hours long for
Let's go, Carson. Plan on it. They don't plan on getting.
I think a lot of American families can relate, though. I think there's a lot more distance between husbands and wives than anybody ever really talks about.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go to the actual interview a little bit. Can I go to the interview? I want to just go to the interview. And there's a reason why I'm doing this. I want you to see the energy. I just want you to pay attention to the energy, right? The energy that Hoda's giving, I want you to see the energy. It's different. Okay? Oh, why is this doing this? Can you behave? Can you just behave? Okay, it doesn't even matter. I can get another thing up. Okay, so let me do this. Because the energy that Hoda is giving the energy that Hoda is giving our good friend Jada is very different, and I mean so contrastingly different to what happened with Will Smith. And that's when I said, and these are both times that she interviewed him before their book came out, I said the focus of the book has got problems, because the way that Hoda is responding to them in these particular sessions tells me that she views their situation very differently. Will you behave? Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Okay.
In the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from...
All right, look at this interview here, and I'm going to show you the interview with Will Smith and Hoda, and you're going to see a massive difference in their interview. You're going to see there's a huge difference in the way that that she did the interview. And the reason is because the focus of the book, what it actually is focusing on. And that is why I said that I'm scared for what her book is going to be like, because if that's what she picked up, she's not picking up. When I read Will Smith's book, the focus seems to be about introspection of Will Smith and the things that he's done wrong and the things he hasn't got right and the things he's trying to put correction into, the things he's working on, where he's messed up, what he's done wrong. There seems to be this overarching theme of kind of focusing on where he's messed up. And I don't know if that's going to be the same reaction that our good sis is going for, right? Jada. So let me put it this way. So you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Okay.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you for doing this.
The coward. Yeah. I would never pick that word with you.
Right. It's in that same chapter, I talk about the idea. My father was abusive with my mother, and I was probably 9, and you know, that became really the core trauma of my childhood, that my personality and my persona became to form around, to be the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know, that I was never going to be scared again. And, you know, what was really difficult for me.
Let me just speed it up.
Families, mine included. We talk about nothing. Like, it's all under everything.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
afraid to lift anything
Yeah,
up.
people come over. What's that hump in your rug? What's that? What's under there? Don't. No, it's fine. It's fine. Put something in front of it.
But you took the carpet. You shook it. You beat it with a broom. No,
Yeah.
aging through it.
So for me, I want to, you know, make it okay to not be perfect. You know, it's so much easier to just live as who you really are and feel bad when you feel bad and feel good when you feel good, and to get into that space, to be
I want to get to where
Really
she
deep down inside.
even that kind of connecting is not acceptable, right? You know, so we're on camera, so we have to maintain a certain demeanor, versus we can't just connect, right? And we can't just be in a moment. And I recognize
Olga was breaking down, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Honestly, Olga was breaking down, blood. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, and the reason why is because, again, the focus of the book seems to be different. They have two different focuses. When I read the Will book, and I'm not saying that Will's innocent, I want to make it very clear again. Very clear again. It's not that Will's innocent. We're talking about what is their focus. The book seems to be focused on things that I'm like, the Tupac thing, you know, like, you know, you know what I'm saying to you? The focal point of Will's book, if you read the book, because I've read the book, I know the focal point of the book, and maybe Will's just a better storyteller. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, maybe that's what it is. But when you read the book, the very beginning, the first few chapters about the abuse, the father being this, that, is a running theme through the whole entire book. What that tells me is that somebody is focused on the introspective aspects of why you are the way you are today. Okay, like taking Will's interview aside, if you read the book of Will, the entire book focuses on the transformation of him and how he got things wrong and what he did wrong. And I'm saying, I hope that the book has the same thing for Jada, but the fact that they took, and of course, the Tupac thing is going to be more, how do I say, it's going to be big. The Oscar slap's going to be big. It's going to be all those things that are going to make sense, right? But the fact that the focal point doesn't have the same thing that Will Smith once does as an interview is concerning to me. And I'm scared that by 17th of October, I'm going to read a book that may not have the same sinews of introspection. Is why I love the book of Will. It's because there was introspection. The introspection made me even realize, oh my days, I didn't even realize I do the exact same thing. Or, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I get why he does that now. There was so much introspective aspect to the book. I'm not saying this because I love Will or I like Will. I really do love Will. I love his acting. I love his skill. And of course, I don't know him as a human being. And I remember, I don't know if I said it some years ago. I said Will Smith was in my dream. He was one of the few celebrities, himself, Samuel Jackson. And I need to go back and see. But there's a few people who were in my dream of celebrities, and I met Will Smith, and he asked me for my phone. No, I had this. I was holding on to his phone, and then I left it in my pocket, and I almost went to walk off, and he said, "Hey, my phone." And I was like, "Oh, my bad, bro. I didn't even remember that I had your phone." And I've always said that from that day, I said something about Will Smith. I don't know what's going to happen. And this is years ago, before that whole situation kicked off. So I've always been following Will Smith very closely. Like, this guy's been in my dream. Him, The Rock, and Kevin Hart, and CeeLo Green. All of them have been in my dreams several times. So when I see them, I'm like, there's something about them. There's something about them. But for specifically Will Smith, I'm looking at him going, bro, the book that I read had introspection. I need the same thing with Jada. I need to know that when I read that book, I need to see the same introspection. I need to see your story, and I need to see your introspection. I mean, of course, I'm gonna always be a little bit biased because I was, of course, because Will Smith is, Will Smith is, somebody who I looked up to when I was younger, or I loved seeing him act. So I always have more grace for him in that sense. But I want to see the same introspection. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. I want the same introspection. I want it to be tied in to how we're here now. Not just give me random stories about Tupac and those kind of things. Give me some introspection. Let me see that you're introspective and you actually look deep into who you are as to why you are the way you are. Right? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I don't even think it's more media training. I think Will Smith is just a great storyteller. So he's always gonna be someone who's gonna curate a story very, very well. And again, he's not innocent, but I'm asking the question: can she be introspective? Can she? And by the way, there is there's a betrayal that happened that she has not spoken about. So I want to just put this also as well. Let me put this on here as well, guys. Okay, let me put this on here. To be fair, I want to be fair.
If you're thinking about deleting,
I want to be fair. 550. I have notes upon notes, boy. I really was researching the other day. But this situation here, let me bring this.
and Jada opened up about her marriage, explaining that while she and Will have been faithful to one another, there have been other unconventional betrayals.
I'm asked a lot, was there infidelity in your relationship with Will? And it's like, no, but there have been other betrayals of the heart that have been far bigger.
Perhaps the secret to their success.
Now, I don't know about y'all niggas, and I shouldn't call y'all niggas, I'm so sorry. I don't know about y'all, but I want to know what the betrayal is that's bigger than cheating. Okay? I want to know what's a bigger betrayal than cheating. That's what I want to know. What is a bigger betrayal than cheating? That's what I want to know. Okay? That's what we need to know. What's a bigger betrayal than cheating? I don't know. What's a big betrayal? I don't know. You tell me, guys. You know? An emotional entanglement. Apparently often the love of your life. You are wiling and around. Telling the secrets of pillow talk. Probably, yeah, maybe it could be, Shouldn't put it away. Maybe he knew some information and we didn't know. Talking bad about probably, yeah, it probably is. It probably is that, Probably is talking bad about Pac. So, Oh no. Oh no. There's a clip I wanted to even show actually saying that. There's a clip I wanted to bring.
What was your hardest time?
Got to do it my way.
I think I wanted to show this clip that was from Thingy. 210, yeah. She said she needs to do it her way. It's gonna be my way. I'm gonna do it my way. Okay, here we go.
Had to destroy our marriage.
Oh, yeah. I needed more freedom. And freedom in the sense of like, the public wants you to be a certain way, your family needs you in a certain way, your partner needs you to be something, and for me, that just was never, I'm really a free spirit at heart. I really am. And I always have been. And I just felt like my life had got constricted into this little box. And it was strangling me, basically.
Now, if you look at Gammy, guys, look at Gammy. The whole entire time, I want you to look at Gammy. I want you to look at Gammy. Gammy's eyes when she's saying this are telling. The entire time that she's talking, the eyes are telling you everything you need to know. They're saying so much. So much. Watch this.
Marriage. Oh, yeah. I needed more freedom. And freedom in the sense of like, the public wants you to be a certain way.
That's the only thing she
Family
acknowledged.
needs you in a certain way. Your partner needs you to be something, and for me, that just was never, I'm really a free spirit at heart. I really am. And I always have been. And I just felt like my life had got constricted into this little box. And it was strangling me, basically.
When someone stares into the abyss, you should know when they stare into the abyss, while she may be agreeing with certain points, the staring into the abyss means usually when you're doing that, you're disassociating from that moment. So it's like you almost like you don't want to look at the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you kind of like, you're hearing some stuff that you're like, but you don't want to make your face any particular way, so you just kind of look away from them. Don't want to make eye contact. Just want to just, So I was like, oh, okay. It looks like girl knows her daughter. Her daughter saying some stuff that she may not necessarily agree with, and may not necessarily be down for. So it's crazy. I'm just gonna be real with you. That this situation happening the way it is. I'll be honest with you. I personally, and listen, Gammy is definitely saying, Gammy is running through her head saying, what monster have I created? And because Gammy's in a very happy marriage now, she's, of course, her fourth marriage, but she's now very happy now. So yeah, I don't know. I think Gabby is. I think she really is. And the reason why I say that is because when he said that he's a person that wants to marry, she was very. If I can find I can find you that, guys. That video I showed you guys the other day. She was very happy when Will said, "Oh, I'm a person that that wants to be married. 5 years old when I want to marry." And Gammy's like, "It's so good that you're like that." That's what she wanted for her daughter. She wanted somebody that's gonna love her daughter, and that will care for him and be appreciative of her. That's what she wanted, and she got that in Will. But of course, I'm not saying that Will's innocent. Again, we sure that things got madness as well. So, I'm sure there's some madness in there as well. You get what I'm saying to you? But yeah, Gammy's on her fourth marriage, guys. Okay, yeah. But I will never have slander for her. I really respect her. I think she's amazing. Let me see if I can look at it. Look at. There's a clip here. Let's see if I can play this clip for you guys. Here it is.
I wanted anything other than being married and having a family.
Wow.
From
Oh, thank the good Lord.
literally 5 years old, I was picturing what my family would be.
Wow.
The way that Gamma was like, thank the Lord. She knows. She knows. She knows. She knows. So, it's interesting to see that, it's political, honestly. They do talk a little bit. They talk a little bit about their childhood. I want to give you a video on that. I do have the video somewhere. Hold on. You know me, listen, evidences were piling up, so I had to go and bring them to your doorstep, you understand? But here, they talk about their background a bit.
He was protecting you by leaving.
Oh, crap. Oh, go back.
He was protecting you by leaving. Yeah.
I mean, that's what he told me at 7.
Yeah.
I can't be your father.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a criminal. I'm an addict. And that's just what it is.
Dang.
In a new episode of Red Table Talk, Jada's younger brother, Caleb, joins to talk about struggles they faced with their dad prior to his death in 2010.
We both had a lot
Absolutely.
of resentment. We had that feeling like we had to be responsible for him, but he never had to be responsible for us.
Though Jada and Caleb grew up with different mothers and in different states, they agree their father is a shared source of pain and admit Robsell struggled his entire life.
That's hardcore when he said,
face.
yeah, but there was a reason behind it for him. And his reason was, I was sick.
It takes practice to have those difficult conversations with kindness and consideration. And it's just something that we have to continue to practice, because if we don't talk about it, we're not going to get to the other side. We're just going to, things are just going to stay. Difficult part of him dying like that is because he and I had a horrendous fight when I found out that he relapsed. I was like, I don't owe you nothing. You didn't do for me. You didn't do for Caleb. I don't owe you nothing. It was one of those.
I have not been able to fully forgive myself for the way I treated my father before losing him. When I talk about it, I can start crying like quickly, and that means it's unresolved within me.
Jada shared with ET why tackling topics like forgiveness at the table is so important.
It is amazing to be here at the Red Table. A lot happens at the Red Table.
Yes.
Explain to me what it's all about.
Well, the Red Table is a place of testimony, and a place where we get to share our stories, share our experiences, and get to really talk and spill our truth in a very raw way.
That's what I was going to say. There's a lot of truth that's coming out of this table from what I understand.
There's a lot of
What's
truth.
really unique is that it's
Trust Kev to be there. I need trust Kevin to be there to go and spill that information for Married at First Sight. But yeah. Yep, that's what we're saying. So listen, go leave it there. But I'm gonna need Jada to chill, B, because she's doing too much. I'm gonna need her to chill. All right. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button. You let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's peak out here, peak times out here.